Greetings everyone, my name is Juan Camilo Salazar and this is my partner Román, who worked with me in the development of this internship translation project. The Hereby project was carried out in conjunction with the CETRA Semillero Translation Group and focused on the execution of scientific and technical translation project within the field of petroleum engineering and the hydrocarbon industry. The main objective of this project was to apply both the theoretical and procedural knowledge for the translation of scientific and technical texts within the field of petroleum engineering, especially focused on the enhanced oil recovery methods in laboratories at Universidad Industrial de Santander. Likewise, 4 specific objectives were established. First, to acquire knowledge about the terminology and conceptual structure of the field of the topics of the texts in order to translate accurately and keep in constant communication with the authors of the source texts. Second, to create and manage terminology bank glossaries that may guide the translation process. Third, to use and to apply the necessary translation tool, strategies, techniques, and approaches for the complete understanding of the scientific and technical text in order to solve potential translation problems that may arise in the source text. Finally, to produce high-quality professional translations of each text, taking into account clarity, accuracy, fluency, and adaptation, as well as revision and edition of both the source and target texts.
For this translation internship project, 3 main theoretical foundations were adopted in order to guide the methodology and the whole process. These theoretical foundations were translation studies approaches such as the equivalence effect by Eugene Naida, 1964, functionalist approaches to translation by Christian Nord, 1997, and translation competence by Amparo Hurtado Albir, 2017. For a start, functionalist approaches to translation, or functionalism, was the most common used approach in this internship project. Functionalism sees translation as a form of communication which aims at fulfilling a purpose in a target language and culture. For that reason, equifunctional translations were carried out as they bring the message across by maintaining text function. Also, equifunctional translations are source-oriented, and usually the audience of these types of text are experts in the field. Therefore, since expert-to-expert communication is being built, the information must be accurate and respect all aspects in the source text. Lastly, translation competence refers to those abilities that a translator should have in order to translate any text. These are: first, the linguistic competence, which requires the translators to have a complete knowledge and understanding of the 2 working languages. Second, the extra-linguistic competence, which states that a translator should have thematic and cultural knowledge in both languages. Third, the transfer competence, which contemplates the translator's ability to perform translation processes accurately. And finally, the professional competence, which deals with the translator's personal working style. That is, the implementation of technological tools such as software for the translation process. All these competences distinguish the translator from the non-translator or the bilingual person.
The translation project was divided into 3 different stages. First, the pre-translation process. In this stage, the translation training was received prior to the briefing and the execution of the translation. Other processes, such as search and study for parallel text, terminological instruction of the source text, and the creation and management of glossaries, was also performed during this stage. Second, the translation process stage, which include the reading of the source text, the anticipation, the revision, and the edition of the translation draft, and the submission of target tests to our supervisors. Third, the problem-solving process stage, which took place as translations were being performed. In order to solve problems during the translation process, digital tools such as online concordances, dictionaries, and glossaries were used.
During the whole internship project, there were translation and proofreading challenges in both English and Spanish. Regarding Spanish to English translation, these challenges were mostly related to grammar and writing style in the source text. As for grammar, the lack of determiners in Spanish was very common. Determiners are important words in the Spanish language as they agree with nouns in gender and number, making them easier to identify. This represented a challenge as many sentences in the source text were incomplete and the meaning was not conveyed clearly. In terms of writing style, the presence of long and wordy statements was also highly recurrent. And this was due to the lack of punctuation marks, which are important for both English and Spanish as they help indicate the pauses or emphasis in the ideas and thoughts that are discussed in the text. All these together with the misuse of linking devices affected the text's fluency and cohesion. Second, in the proofreading task, the most common challenge encountered was negative transfer. And this was due to the fact that the text was originally written in English by an author whose first language is Spanish. Therefore, the text contained a lot of Spanish-like sentence structure. Although the meaning was not affected directly, Spanish-like sentences caused confusion when reading.
During the evaluation of this project, we could realize that the GRM's group decision to acquire the linguistic services to public and disseminate the research and experimental findings with the international community allow us to take part in the process of translation, proofreading, and adaptation of text through corpus-based translation in order to handle a wide range of textual resources. Finally, the experience acquired during the project showed that linguistic services, such as technical and scientific translation, should continue as they contribute to knowledge dissemination and interdisciplinary work in the academia.